She was just standing in line, phone in hand, minding her own business. Within seconds, the air shifted. Eyes locked onto her like she didn't belong. A stranger's rage erupted out of nowhere, loud, unfiltered, and fueled by something far uglier than a simple misunderstanding. Shoppers froze, cameras lifted, and just like that, an ordinary afternoon turned into a public spectacle that would change both of their lives forever. But what that woman didn't realize was this: karma was already moving into position. The question is, who would it hit first? Maya Thompson was used to being the only black woman in the room. At 28, she had built a quiet, steady life for herself in a city that liked to call itself progressive. She worked as a pediatric nurse, pulling long shifts that left her exhausted but proud. Her days were filled with small hands gripping her fingers and grateful parents whispering thank you. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work, and she loved it. On that afternoon, she had just finished a double shift. Still in her scrubs, she stopped by an upscale grocery store on her way home. One she didn't usually visit, but it was closer than her regular spot. She moved through the aisles slowly, tossing a few essentials into her basket, already thinking about a hot shower and sleep. She noticed the stares, of course. She always did. The subtle glances that lingered a little too long. The way security seemed to drift nearby without ever saying a word. It wasn't new. It was background noise in her life. But that day, the tension felt different, sharper, like something waiting to snap. Near the checkout line, a woman stood stiffly, clutching her purse a little too tightly, eyes fixed directly on Maya. And in that stare was something familiar, something that had followed Maya her entire life. She had no idea that in just a few moments, that stare would explode into something no one in that store would forget. Maya felt it before she heard it. The shift in the air, the way conversations dimmed, the subtle tightening in her chest that told her something was about to go wrong. She placed her basket on the conveyor belt and began unloading her items. Fruit, cereal, a carton of oat milk. Ordinary things. The woman behind her stepped closer. Too close. Close enough that Maya could feel her breath against the back of her neck. Then it started. A sharp accusation cut through the hum of the store. Loud, confident, certain. The woman claimed Maya had slipped something into her bag, said she had been watching her the entire time, said people like her always thought they could get away with it. Every head turned. For a split second, Maya thought it had to be a mistake, a misunderstanding that would dissolve with logic. She calmly gestured to her clear basket, to the items laid out in plain sight. She stood still, hands visible, heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. But the woman grew louder. The footage played on a small monitor behind the customer service desk. At first, it was grainy, silent, clinical. The kind of video that strips away emotion and leaves only facts. The crowd pressed closer. There was Maya, moving calmly through the aisles, placing items into her basket. No rushing, no hiding, no slipping anything into a purse. Just a tired nurse buying groceries after work. Then the angle shifted. The same camera showed the woman trailing her, not casually shopping, watching, following, hovering near every aisle Maya entered, her cart nearly empty, her eyes fixed. A murmur rippled through the store. The video zoomed near the checkout. It captured the exact moment the accusation exploded. And then, in brutal clarity, it showed something no one expected. While shouting, while pointing at Maya, the woman had absent-mindedly placed a small cosmetic item into her own oversized handbag. Distracted, careless, completely unaware of the lens above her. The manager froze the frame. There it was.
undeniable. The color drained from the woman's face. Her outrage collapsed into silence. Phones that had once aimed at Maya slowly pivoted. For the first time since this began,
the store grew quiet in a way it hadn't been before. Security escorted the woman away, not in handcuffs, not dramatically, but firmly. Her outrage was gone, replaced with stunned silence. The same people who had watched Maya with suspicion now avoided her eyes. A few whispered apologies. Most said nothing at all. The manager offered a refund, a gift card, a quiet apology meant to smooth over something that couldn't be smoothed. Maya gathered her groceries with steady hands. She hadn't stolen anything. She hadn't raised her voice. She hadn't done anything except exist in a space where someone decided she didn't belong. And even though the footage cleared her name, it didn't erase the feeling of standing alone while a crowd silently weighed her guilt. She walked out of the store not as a criminal, but not untouched either. That night, the videos spread online. Millions watched the accusation. Millions saw the truth. Some called it karma. Others called it justice. But for Maya, it was something more complicated. Because karma didn't stop the humiliation. It didn't stop the security guards from circling her first. It didn't stop the assumption that her skin made her suspicious. What happened in that grocery store wasn't rare.